make marriage plans. Oh, big deal.
What do you see now? After my horoscope and now yours. Well, I'm your close.
Deliberate and hostile resistance by Democrat leaders in Minnesota. For weeks, Governor Walz and the Mayor, Jacob Fry, and other elected Democrats were spreading lies about federal law enforcement officers who are risking their lives daily to remove the worst criminal illegal aliens from our streets: murderers, rapists, pedophiles, human traffickers, and gang members. Governor Walz and Mayor Fry have shamefully blocked local and state police from cooperating with ICE, actively inhibiting efforts to arrest violent criminals. They have also used their platforms to encourage left-wing agitators to stalk, record, confront, and obstruct federal officers who are just trying to lawfully perform their duties, which has created dangerous situations threatening both these officers and the general public and Minnesotans alike. This is precisely what unfolded in Minneapolis on Saturday morning. Obstructing federal law enforcement and inciting violence against officers is wrong and illegal. This used to be a universally accepted position in the United States. Amid the hysteria, we must remember how we got here to this moment today and what this Democrat opposition is about. Former President Joe Biden and the Democrats opened America's borders for 4 years, inviting tens of millions of illegal aliens from all over the world to flood into our country. Among them, violent criminals who terrorize American communities and have inflicted devastating, permanent pain and harm on law-abiding Americans and their families. Yet we never saw outrage from Democrats or their allies in the liberal media over these horrifying crimes against U.S. citizens. The pain of American angel families was ignored and dismissed because it undermined the Democrat narrative. Innocent Americans like Jocelyn Nungaray, Laken Riley, and Rachel Morin are just a few of the many victims savagely murdered by illegal alien criminals. Earlier this month, an illegal alien from Mexico with a long criminal history came into our country under Joe Biden's administration, threw a baseball-sized stone at a school bus carrying children in New Jersey, and fractured the skull of an 8-year-old innocent child. President Trump promised accountability to these American families by securing the border, deporting every illegal alien who has committed crimes, especially and most importantly, violent crimes. Nearly 80 million Americans voted for him to deliver on that very promise, and he is. As the duly elected president, the president is fulfilling the will of the people by arresting and removing these threats from our country in cities from Los Angeles to New York and, yes, Minneapolis. Yet Democrat leaders in Minnesota with sanctuary city policies have actively defied federal immigration law and the will of the people. And as a result of that defiance, 2 Minnesotans have now tragically lost their lives on the streets of Timbolton State. It is President Trump's hope and wish and demand for the resistance and chaos to end today. That's why President Trump spoke with Governor Walz directly this morning, and he has outlined a clear and simple path to restoring law and order in Minnesota. Number one, Governor Walz, Mayor Fry, and all Democrat leaders should turn over all criminal illegal aliens currently incarcerated in their prisons and jails to federal authorities, along with any illegal aliens with active warrants or known criminal histories for immediate deportation. Number two, state and local law enforcement must agree to turn over all illegal aliens who are arrested by local police. And then thirdly, local police must assist federal law enforcement in apprehending and detaining illegal aliens who are wanted for crimes, especially violent crimes. If Governor Walz and Mayor Fry implement these common sense cooperative measures that I will add have already been implemented in nearly every single other state across the country, Customs and Border Patrol will not be needed to support ICE on the ground in Minnesota. ICE and local law enforcement can peacefully work together, as they are effectively doing in so many other states and jurisdictions. Additionally, President Trump is calling on the United States Congress to immediately pass legislation ending sanctuary cities once and for all. American cities should be safe sanctuaries for law-abiding citizens only, not for dangerous illegal alien criminals who broke our nation's laws and do not belong here. We hope Governor Walz will do the right thing and continue to work with President Trump to keep the American people safe following their call this morning. Americans overwhelmingly want exactly what President Trump is delivering: strong borders and strict immigration enforcement against the worst illegal aliens, of which there are still hundreds of thousands to deport from the interior of our country. The most peaceful way to carry out this vital public safety mission is for Republicans and Democrats to do it together, and for state and local law enforcement to work together with federal law enforcement. We want to let cops be cops. You wouldn't know this continues to be a very popular policy position from the biased media coverage over the course of the last few days. But polling shows huge support for this exact thing President Trump is calling for. More than
See through at the next location.
Dustin and Denise want a house that's large enough to accommodate their growing family, but if they want the added square footage on their tight budget, they're going to have to look at driving a little further. Well, I think this house is perfect because it's brand new, 4 bedrooms, 4
cameras where he worked. So he could take his time card, punch it, put it back in its slot, and then just walk out. And he could go anywhere at that time. At that point, we were trying to make the ties. We just didn't have good, concrete, tangible evidence at that point. We had spoken with some of Warren's other friends who gave us information that Warren had basically confronted Eric's fiance about her being pregnant, and 5 months pregnant, and that Eric was the baby's father. I think she was expecting us to come at one point or another, but I don't think she expected us to get there that soon to question her.
Where were you the night of November 23rd?
We were just asking general questions for the most part. His fiance didn't even know that he was still seeing her.
No, he had no reason to want to see.
She was in denial, and she had told us his parents didn't know that Lauren was pregnant.
Just for the sake of the argument, if Eric is this baby's father,
If he is, well, his parents will kill him. Let me tell you that.
The fact that, his parents didn't know that Lauren was pregnant, his fiance didn't know. He did have things to hide. She started providing information for us to establish a motive, if in fact Eric was involved. What was interesting is while we were talking to her, Eric pulled up in his vehicle and saw officers there. He just left. The investigator, your head starts to go full speed. We had detectives and officers going throughout the city trying to locate Eric. That's when I received a call from another officer at the police department. David, Eric's best friend, that just came in and gave a full confession of what Eric had told him on the previous evening. So we were going to locate Eric no matter what at that point.
Arizona Attorney General to look at the video of an ICE agent in Minneapolis. He was approached by left-wing agitators who were honking their horns and were screaming slurs at him. And he rolled down his window and he said, "What are you doing? I am out here trying to catch a child predator, somebody who has convicted crimes against an innocent child, and you are trying to..."
keep in mind it would be a lot more expensive, but I really didn't want to keep this one from you because it's a beautiful home.
Yeah.
It truly is.
Yeah.
Why don't we call it a night? You guys had a long day, head back to the rental zone and try and relax a little bit. So good plan. All right.
This house is so good that I'm almost gonna be willing to put my kids in the car every morning and still drive them to school. But that's still a decision I'm still struggling with.
I think that we found our dream home.
But dreams quickly turn to reality back at home.
Toothbrush, toothbrush.
Okay,
By squeezing 5 people in a telephone booth. It's been very tough.
we gotta get settled. Sophia, listen to me.
With the way things are right now, they think it's just party time. And
It is not party time.
I have a good idea. I'll sit here with all the kids. 1, 2, 3. When I say lights up, that means lights out. Everyone quiet. Sophia, listen up. Good night.
Sunrise is the head of diagnostic medicine. Is he a good man?
He's a good doctor. The man's in a coma.
He didn't mind. I asked.
Isn't treating patients while we become doctors?
Give me a test. I'm sick. None of that case of natural causes. You need people to like you. You see here, you don't talk to people. How do you say something if people look at it? How?
Well, that's not gonna cheer you up. Truth begins in lies. Think about it. Better than me, you think. That just mean is that weird.
The award-winning house on Channel 4. Stream now.
This might be one away.
Hello? What is it? It looks like a robot router.
From space.
No, from sky.
You get fastest broadband speeds from any major provider. Landed.
Glenn's just used confused.com. It doesn't have the thought of car insurance weighing him down anymore.
Totally for getting married.
You're not getting married.
Insurance just
like that, big rough chop. So I'm just dicing this, which is unusual. Usually I slice mushrooms, but you want a little bit of mushroom in every bite of the sausage strudels. Community mushrooms started out as wild mushrooms, but they're now cultivated. But they have great flavor. I think they're much better than the sort of traditional button mushrooms. So one of the things about mushrooms is you don't ever want to wash them. You want to just brush them off. Just take a damp towel or something like that, because otherwise they absorb a lot of water, and then they're really soggy. This recipe for strudels, actually, I love that it was handed down from friend to friend. My friend Devin Fredericks started especially food store Loaves and Fishes in Bridgehampton, and she used to make them. She used to make mushroom strudels and crab strudels and all kinds of strudels. And then when my late friend Anna Pump bought the store from her, she inherited the recipe for strudels. And actually, Anna then gave it to me. So I've been making them. We have them in the store all the time. It's a great appetizer. Okay, let's see how the sausage is doing. No, it's perfectly cooked. Onions are cooked. Smells great. Okay, in go the mushrooms. That's 1 pound of greeny mushrooms chopped, and then some seasonings. There's probably some fennel in the sausage, but I want to really bump up the flavor. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of fennel, 1 teaspoon of salt. Really depends on how salty the sausage is, and 1 teaspoon of pepper. I'm just going to cook this all together and then cool it. It takes 10 minutes to cook, and you'll see the mushroom liquid evaporates. Then I'll set it aside for 10 minutes. So while the mixture cools, I'm going to make fresh breadcrumbs. Really easy. This is from a bowl, just 1 slice, and you have a cup. Dry breadcrumbs are used to bind something together, but fresh breadcrumbs are better if you want the mixture to be really moist. So just big, rough dice. Okay, into the food processor. Just go mix it into those breadcrumbs. Perfect. Need half a cup. And give it a little richness. I'm adding an 8.8 ounce package of mascarpone. It's like Italian cream cheese. And it should be room temperature, so it mixes in really easily. So just think mushrooms and sausages, chicken and pork, animal seasonings. It's going to be really good in the strudels. Okay, that's all mixed in. Now I'm going to show you how to do the phyllo. So the layers of phyllo will dry out really fast. So I cover it with a slightly damp towel, not too wet, otherwise it'll get soggy. And then cover it immediately when you take a piece off. That'll keep it nice and pliable. So I'm going to brush it with butter, melted butter that I have in the pan. Just brush the whole thing right across. So what I want is 5 layers of phyllo, and then I'm going to roll the filling inside it. Okay, that's the butter. Next, I need a teaspoon of dry breadcrumbs. actually doing dried breadcrumbs here because you want the second layer to sort of slide on top. And if it was fresh breadcrumbs, it wouldn't slide so easily. And now I'm going to do exactly the same 4 more times. Layer 2, butter and breadcrumbs. Layer 3, the same. Layer 4, the same again. Now I'm going to take a third of the mushroom and sausage mixture, just put it right down one edge. It's going to end up being rolled up and then scored in individual bite-sized pieces. That's about a third. Okay, and just pull all of the 5 sheets up like this. And then with your hands, kind of mush it together so it makes a nice even roll. And then just roll the whole thing up, just like that. We're gonna brush it with butter so it gets nice and brown when it bakes. And then score them in individual pieces. It's easier to do now than when it comes out of the oven. Because when it comes out of the oven, the phyllo is very flaky. Good news is you can make these, wrap them really well, freeze them, and then bake them off later. Okay, that's 1. 2 more to go, and then I'm going to put them on a sheet pan. That's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, these are ready to go into the oven. 400 degrees for 25 minutes. Just going to rotate them once so they bake evenly. I think the strudel should be ready. Whoa, nice and brown and flaky. Wow, they smell great. I'm just going to cut these into pieces and put them on a platter. Sausage and mushroom strudels, the perfect little bite with a drink before dinner. And happily, they didn't all fit on the platter. My turn.
Sure, yes. Tomorrow, President Trump will be traveling to Des Moines, Iowa. He will be making a local visit at a local business, and then he will be giving a speech on affordability and on the economy. And I know he very much looks forward to being there, to meeting with the great people of Iowa, but also lawmakers as well. Jacob.
A couple of questions. First, does the president remain fully confident in Chris Evans' ability to lead the DHS?
Yes.
And then just secondly, just on that Wall Street Journal reporting that we saw yesterday, the president said at some point that the immigration enforcement officers would leave Minneapolis. Did the Saturday killing of Alex Freddie expedite that withdrawal?
To your first question, the answer is yes. He still has confidence and trust in Secretary Noem. To the second question, I will take you back to what I said earlier. If Governor Walz and Mayor Fry implement these common sense cooperative measures, CBP will no longer be needed to support ICE on the ground in Minnesota. ICE and local law enforcement will peacefully work together as they are effectively doing in so many other states and jurisdictions to remove violent criminals from the American neighborhoods across the country.
The president to remove the immigration enforcement officer?
He asked the president to scale down, and the president reiterated what the president put out in his statement yesterday, and what I'm sharing with all of you as well. I would just add on this level of cooperation a few statistics that I think are very important. 7 of the top 10 safest cities in the United States cooperate with ICE. And we've seen historic turnaround in safety in cities that have chosen to cooperate with ICE, that are not just led by Republicans, but also look right here in Washington, D.C. We had a great level of cooperation with Mayor Bowser and the local government, and we have been able to remove thousands of illegal aliens from the District of Columbia, where you all live, so you can thank President Trump for that. The murder rate in Washington, D.C. has plummeted as a result. There were no riots, there were no protests, nobody was tragically killed.
Hello, hello, hello.
Cooperation between federal and local authorities. And again, that's all the president is asking for in Minnesota. It's totally common sense. Eric, go ahead.
Thank you. Caroline, in this process, you continue to describe the situation in Minneapolis as chaos. Was there any mistake made by Secretary Noem that led the president to send Mr. Holman there?
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question. Did Secretary Noem make a mistake which led to?
He made any mistake that could led the president to send Mr. Holman to Minneapolis?
No, as I already mentioned, Mr. Holman has been working alongside Secretary Noem for the president over the course of last year. And again, he's uniquely positioned to operate to Minnesota today to continue this course.
Dooby dooby dooby. Dooby dooby doo. How you all doing?
All Americans have a Americans do not have a constitutional right to impede and obstruct lawful immigration enforcement operations. That is actually a crime, and it's something that we've seen taking place in the streets of Minneapolis, which again is leading to these dangerous circumstances that these federal law enforcement officers have been forced to work with.
This morning, the president described it as respectful. He said he seemed to be on a similar wavelength. But you had strong criticism for the governor and the Minneapolis mayor, Jacob Frey, just now. So could you explain the difference in tone between what the president has said in the two social posts and I think some of the criticisms that you just levied for the three?
Fran, I think the criticisms that I laid out, I'm painting the picture for all of you in this room, are what led to the moment that we are in today, where Governor Walz and President Trump are having a conversation, a constructive and productive conversation to end the chaos and the lawlessness that has taken place in Governor Walz's state.
Thank you. I had a question. With Cohen now going to Minnesota, is Representative Bovino also going to remain in Minnesota?
Mr. Bovino is a wonderful man, and he's a great professional. He is going to very much continue to lead Customs and Border Patrol throughout and across the country. Mr. Coleman will be
Well, given what we've heard from several administrations, like when people like Stephen Miller and people point out going domestic terror, why not require an agent
Do. Hello.
clear up some of the disputes that you're hearing from witnesses and video footage versus what the administration has to say?
Well, that's a policy question that I know.
Hello.
Policy folks in the building are having with members on Capitol Hill, and I'll leave it to them and the president to make that.
Question is on, you were talking about the level of cooperation that the president talked about with Governor Walz. Will the administration commit to coordinating with local officials on this investigation into Alex Price?
The president spoke about this with Governor Walz and said he would have a discussion about it. He did not make a commitment, and so therefore I won't make that commitment here. I would just remind all of you in the media, because I've seen a lack of reporting on this fact, there are investigations into what took place on Saturday. The Homeland Security investigation and the FBI have teamed up for an investigation, and there's also an internal CBP investigation, an internal review of what is happening on the ground in Minnesota. The president supports those investigations, and as I've said repeatedly, he wants to see them move forward. Phil.
FBI Director Patel said in a Sunday review, quote, "You cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest." Does the president believe the Second Amendment rights remain in effect even when protesting?
The president supports the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding American citizens. Absolutely. There has been no greater supporter or defender of the right to bear arms than President Donald J. Trump. So while Americans have a constitutional right to bear arms, Americans do not have a constitutional right to impede lawful immigration enforcement operations. And any gun owner knows that when you are carrying a weapon, when you are bearing arms, and you are confronted by law enforcement, you are raising to some sort of risk that are the worst of the worst criminals in Minnesota who have committed violent offenses. And I would just remind all of you that this important work is continuing to be carried out. In just the last few days, I'm happy to provide this package to anyone in the room. I've arrested many, multiple violent criminals and legal aliens within them have convictions for assault, drug and influence.
Doobie doobie doobie. What was it? Something like that. So, zero. Off you fucked away. What is that? You got a new jump? Doobie doobie doobie. Doobie doobie doobie. You never stood a chance. Oh, we. Well, we. Oh, hello, hello. Oh, why is it so dark? There. What are we doing on here? Oh, well, thank you for subscribing.